Ed Haddaway sculpts what he sees in his dreams.
I get this real kick out of seeing something for the first time. It's in my head, and then all of a sudden, I put a few pieces together, and then it's out there. I try not to tell my wife I'm going to cut up a sculpture, but I do. If they've been around a while and I start having doubts about it, or just maybe I have a different idea, I'll cut it up, change it, I'll add something to it. I love decay in some ways. It's real simple paint on metal, and it rusts, and it gets dull, and it changes. I love old patinas. I've been playing with a lot of rusty surfaces, watching things change. Things are being built up and falling apart all at the same time. I don't consider anything totally done. It feels like another world in a way. I'm surprised how you can take anything, put it together, and have it work. Now, whether I'll like it tomorrow, that's going to be another question. The world is filled with everything you can possibly imagine. I'm really interested in dreams and consciousness, a lot of intangible things. Clearly in a dream state, a very rich life is going on. And I look at people all the time and I think there's a whole world in their heads. I mean, I know from my own experience, I walk around with all these different thoughts and feelings and ideas, and it's constant. So I assume everybody else is in the same boat. A wonderful rationale for what I do is from Carl Jung and his idea of the collective unconscious. It's always made sense to me that I can read a book that was written in the 1600s, and I can understand what that book is about. And to do that, there has to be a basic connection between people. I'm always aware that my audience, or any audience, is doing half the work. It's not just the author. It's the person that's receiving it, and what are they doing with it? It seems like to me there is a universal connection between all of us. I'm pretty deaf. Deafness causes you to separate from other people. It creates a social barrier. And I went through a stage in my life where I was really a loner. So art was absolutely necessary for me to connect with other people. I was pretty obsessed with dark things for a long time. And it was sort of a conscious decision to move from the darkness toward a lighter view of life. I don't know how anybody can get through this life without a sense of humor. I mean, life in itself is a very difficult, challenging thing. I remember reading about the Eskimos. Supposedly they go off by themselves and they have a kind of spiritual time. And they come to the conclusion that the universe is their friend. And I like that idea. I mean, if it's not our friend, I don't know that I want to live in this universe. So if it's out to get me, which it sure seems like a lot of time, we're in real trouble. So I choose to look at it like the universe is my friend. I'm trying to understand exactly what humor is, and it's very elusive. If you kind of remove yourself just a little bit, it's all this kind of wild dance. Life is just chaos and craziness. It's really our attitude that shapes whether it's funny or not. I feel like I'm trying to be a juggler of some sort, and I'm throwing objects up in the air. I want them to stay up in the air. And the real world doesn't allow that, but I get as close as I can by making the sculpture. The lightness of being is that we're also temporal. Everything is elusive and temporal, and it'll all be gone someday. And that makes it both profound and it also makes it ridiculous. It's a ridiculous thing.